Good morning, good morning. Hello, Harlem. Good morning, good morning. All right, how are you doing today? Are you enjoying the weather? It's getting a little bit cooler here in Georgia, of course. So, hello, Harlem. Hello, Columbia County. Hello, Georgia. Hello, USA. Hello, world on YouTube. So, welcome, welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alex Cooper. I teach the computer classes at the Columbia County Library in Evans, the Harlan Library, Uchi Creek, now the Grovetown Library. Yay! And of course, we're not doing any on ground classes right now, so all we're doing is we're staying virtual and doing our virtual classes online here on our YouTube channel. So, welcome, welcome. Now, this is a hugely popular thing that we always did, and we kind of cut it back a little bit with our gadget help, but do realize you can ask any kind of gadget help questions that you have. So this is kind of like a drop-in like we would do at the library. Of course, we're doing stuff virtually. So feel free to ask any kind of questions that you have in the chat. Do realize the chat is a little bit delayed. So if you ask a question there, it takes me a minute. It's okay. So say hello into the chat. Hello, chat. Hello and welcome, welcome. So definitely post any kind of questions you have into the chat. And as usual, I will say, how can I help me? How about that? You can see my shoulders now. How about that? Well, I have shoulders. Yes. So how can I help? So the big thing about this class is, of course, we're answering the questions you have. And while everybody's kind of coming to the classroom and everything and getting their questions ready, I'll go ahead and talk about some of the other classes that we have upcoming with our virtual classroom here on our YouTube channel and everything. So yesterday we did the photography basics class. We talked about megapixel and of course learning rules of composition, rules of thirds. That video is still up and available here on our YouTube channel. And that's kind of part of a series. So today, of course, we're doing our gadget help. And then this afternoon, we're going to be doing our photography fundamentals and cloud backup. So we'll talk about taking our pictures, organizing our pictures using the Microsoft Photos app that comes free with Windows 10. And then we'll also talk about backing up to the Google Cloud, okay, which is a free service from YouTube. And we'll also talk about scanning old photos too with a app that Google has called, I'll think about it in a minute. Anyways, an app that you come to that class and you'll learn about it. How about that? Let's talk about some other classes we have coming up during the month. Now, all these classes are still available. So if you see any past classes you're interested in, just go to our YouTube channel and then look back in the history and you'll see that those videos should still be up and available. So on Thursday, one of the things we're going to be doing chess at 11 o'clock. Yay, chess. It's a fun class. It's a great class. I'll be talking about all kinds of stuff, the basics of chess. Someone that's new to chess, now's a great time to get involved because you can, of course, play that at home with friends and family and stuff. And then, of course, we'll talk about some strategies as well. The chess class, usually on ground, what we would do is we'd have a part 1, we'd have a part 2, and each class we'd have times where everybody could kind of play around with each other, and then you could actually see that you won a game or lost a game and kind of see how what your learning is and how far along you are. And then we would do a third thing, which was a chess tournament. We can't do all those things right now, but we will of course do it in the future again, so keep an eye out for that. The other thing we'll have be going on Thursday is the photography advanced photo editing and layers. So if you've been in the advanced photo editing class before, we'll be covering some of that, but we're actually adding a new component to that, layers. Okay, so not only will be actually getting rid of blemishes, but also we'll be dealing with different layers. Okay. Photography printing and virtual scrapbooking is what we'll be dealing with on next week. And then we'll go right into the end of the month. And then we have our classes there on the 30th. Cutting the cable, the basics of cord cutting. Really fun class. And I'm very happy to announce that You may or may not have heard that the Peacock Comcast service, not only can you get a free box from them, but now it'll be available on the Roku devices as well. So we'll get to talk about that. So you could watch the Peacock free programming, the pre version of that, the free version of that on your Roku coming soon, it says. It may already be available now. I'll have to check that out for myself before the class. And on the 30th, we're going to be doing creating videos, and of course, we're going to announce probably tomorrow our classes that we have coming up for the rest of the month, and of course next month, October, as well. Ooh, maybe we can do a virtual trick or treat or something. Ooh. All right, just a little side note, our libraries are open with limited services and hours. Curbside holds pickup is available. You can go to gchrl.org for details or call into the library with questions Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get a goal. If we can get 100 YouTube subscribers, then we can get our own YouTube address, okay? So it won't be a bunch of numbers and letters and stuff. So the easiest way to find our YouTube channel currently is going to youtube.com or your app on your phone, and then just search for GCHRL videos, and it'll pull right up, okay? And I'll come back. Yay, I'm back. Okay, so the plan is, if I don't have any questions about gadgets, of course this is a drop-in too, and I'll be here until 1 o'clock. So yeah, I got to make sure my head, yes. I'll be here till 1, and I'll be kind of talking about some of the things that the library has to offer. A little bit of talking about what the library resources and apps class. We're actually going to be changing over from the RB Digital to a new system. I haven't personally used a new system, but we may look into that a little bit as well. Also, a neat topic to talk about, because we may have our Introduction to Windows class coming up soon, is that Windows has actually gotten a recent update, and we'll talk about that a little bit. You may or may not have noticed that that's happened to your computer, and how can you see if you have that update or not, okay? So definitely feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and I'll see if I can help out as much as I can, and if not, I'll talk about some of our free library resources and stuff, okay? How does that sound? Now, if you're watching this pre-recorded, you may, of course, can rewind and fast forward as well. And, you know, look out for a new live gadget help if you had questions for, you know, laptops or cell phones or anything like that. There actually is a new version. I know it's the Buzz in my family, the new version of the operating system for our Apple iPhones, which is a 14's coming out, and it's got some new features and stuff, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit later too. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and I'll pull up, talking about the big question is people usually ask is, how can I get a library card, is a lot of the questions that happen. So give me a moment, I'll pull up our library, if I can, our library resources and apps handout here for a second. It's going to think about it. It's thinking about it. This is when I feel like we need some thinking about it music. Think, thinking about it. Load. Yay, finally. Okay. All right, so go ahead and I'll pull up our library website here, and we'll talk about some of the resources that we have free that are available. Not everybody knows that you can actually get listen to free audiobooks, read free audiobooks, and also comics are on there, magazines are on there, and also there's Acorn TV that's available as well. Now we have the cord cutting class coming up on the 30th, so we'll talk about Acorn TV a little bit in that class, but mostly kind of the library resources kind of feeds into that class, telling you exactly how to do that, okay? So this is still, even if you didn't have any questions, or if you're watching this pre-recorded, that's the word I was looking for. If you're watching this pre-recorded, you may want to find out exactly what's going on, you could actually skip ahead a little bit. And let's see, I actually have well, I was trying to get that to disappear, but right this second it really doesn't want to for some reason. Had this happen in another class too. There we go. So here we are, we're on our library page, and I'll disappear if I feel like I'm blocking anything, but definitely feel free to ask any questions at any time. We'll kind of learn together a little bit. How about that? So our RB Digital is going away. We're going to be going to Libby, our new ebook and audiobook app. Okay. We'll have more information about that in the future, and we might even pull that up and look at that a little bit too. Of course, we have a list of our online programs on here. Yay, classes this afternoon and everything. Look, it's our class right now, live. The big thing, of course, is if you don't see anything that you have listed on here, then basically go up. Here's our Indie Flicks, and there's our Acorn TV connection as well. Don't forget, we have the census, end of the census coming up, so hopefully everybody has completed the census. So if you go up to the top, you are searching for something, you can actually go up to our menu. And this will talk about the census here, and also this is where you find the link for curbside pickup requests. Okay? It's a wonderful service. Make sure you thank the librarians for doing that. Now I should be, let's see. All right, so give me 1 second. Make sure that I'm logged in. All right, very good. Okay, so let's go ahead. So let's talk about our library resources. Let's talk about some of the things we're going to cover this morning. We may not cover all of this, but we'll cover some of it. Like I said, we may get more into the newer technical stuff. So if you're watching this pre-recorded, I think we'll talk about the new version of Windows 10. We'll also talk about the IO 14 a little bit there at the end. But let's talk about some of our library resources first. Okay. So let's talk about what you'll need. Okay. We'll talk about using the Pines app. And if I do, there we go. Now we're full screen. How about that? We'll talk about using the Pines app. We'll also talk about putting books on hold. Right now that service is a little bit different, of course. The best thing to do is do the curbside holds pickup, is to go through that system to order your to order your books that way. The big thing about the app, we'll talk about things being overdue, and we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about law resources that are available to you, and We may not talk about the RB Digital a little bit because we may try to jump into and see if we can learn about Libby a little bit. Okay. We'll talk about research, continuing education stuff, talk about universal classes and Mango as well. And then I'll point out some little known gchrl.org resources, things you may not know maybe. Okay. So before we get started, does anybody have any questions? Okay, let me see one second here. Okay, so got something to show. All right, so I had to think there for a second. All right, get ready for the action. Here comes our lovely. You want to see that again? I think I might want to see that again. Let's see. That was awesome. Our library card just flew in. Big thing with our resources is once you get your library card, make sure that you've signed in to our website, gchrl.org. You'll have to create a password, and it'll ask you what your username and password is that you want to set up. And once you have that, make sure that you log in, and then you can access everything that we have on our website very easily. Now, I will tell you, some of our services, each service may need you to create a username and password separately. Okay. Like I said, we're going to go to this new system. Instead of the RB Digital, we're going to be going to the Libby. Okay. So we'll have to see exactly how that works. But I know the RB Digital, we always had to set up a username and password. We're switching over to Libby on October 1st. Okay. So once you click the menu, then you'll get a whole bunch of different listings here. Talking about branches, digital library, information about us. It's kind of like our home portal that has a whole lot of information on there. So let's talk about our Pines app a little bit. Either you can download the Pines app from the Play Store or, of course, from the Apple App Store. Or you can go to gapines.org to access the same information. Basically what you do is you log in with your username and password that you've set up from our main site there, and then you can actually do search. Now if you do search, one of the things that'll pop up is that over here on the right side it'll give the results from the different categories too. So if we search for like an author like Stephen King, we pop up here, and it furthermost has the top here where it's talking about books. Okay, books right here, e-audiobooks. Okay, so it will come up and list e-audiobooks that are available. This isn't really the way you access them, but it will list them in the search. It is kind of best to go to the RB Digital to do the search that way. And then if we keep going down here, you'll actually see where it says CD audiobooks. So the CD audiobooks are the ones that you can actually check out from the library. And of course, they'll, pick it up, do curbside holds pickup if you want to. And then you can go on here and actually do the items. It'll list what items checked out. And it also will list fines as well. So not only will the items check out tell you what books you have checked out or what items you have checked out to make sure that you return them, which could be a big help, especially if you have little bits, or you have other family members that maybe use your card and you're trying to figure out exactly which ones to get and take back to the library. The items checked out can help a lot. Okay. We also have our fines. Now I do know that if you do check it out, some of our books that you're returning can take up to 74 hours till our staff can actually process it due to safety issues. So do be aware of that. That's all listed at the gchrl.org for more information about returning items. The big thing here is also it'll list fines. So if your book is way late, but if you do have a question about that, just contact the library. You can call in Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or of course you can contact folks on using the Facebook instant messaging as well. Okay. Now a big one is if you did need to show your library card, boom, there's your library card right there, and you can actually pull that up and it can be scanned. So if you don't have the key, the little dongle thing on your keys, okay, with your library card on it, you can actually pull it up this way and of course scan it, and you're ready and you're good to go. Let's talk about some law resources. Now a big thing here, like I said, is you could go to these websites directly, but that's not what you should do. You really should go to the gchrl.org, click the menu, find and be logged into our website, find the link, click the link, and then it'll take that little bit of code from our website and tell these websites that you give you access for free because you're using your library, the library website. Okay. So some of these resources that we'll list and things you'll see, if you go directly, it may not realize you're from the library and say something like, hey, you need to do a subscription fee or something like that, which you don't as long as you go through the library. Is that a little confusing? Yes, it is a little confusing, but that's just the way we have it set up. So it's kind of like a secret that only we know about because we're patrons of the library. Okay. So what's listed on Law Depot? We have forms. We have like last will and testament. There's also living will. There's also bill of sale on there, and child medical consent. The big thing about this is that you can actually customize it a lot. Like last will and testament, it can go very specific about who you want to get, what item, who do you want to be in charge of your estate, stuff like that. And then you could even get it printed out and then have a notary either at the Evans Library or the Grovetown Library notarize it. And of course you could do that at a bank or something if you wanted to too. Sometimes it helps a lot to go ahead and get something taken care of, and it's pretty easy to do. Any of the libraries will be happy to help in any way. Okay. Now other resources we have is like Galileo. You can access 100 over 100 databases indexing thousands of periodicals, 10,000 journal entries and everything. How do we gain access to that? Well, basically just call into the library. If there's anything that's not available through the website, username and password, it may pop up and say, what's the Galileo password? Just call into the library and they'll actually give you that information. Okay. The password of the Galileo changes, so you just need to call in and ask what it is. Of course, if you're not there, if you're at the library, then just ask the librarian and they'll tell you. There's also other resources. There's ones that are here like for elementary school kids, and they actually have it broken up into different age groups, which is a big help. Let's talk about some of our pitfalls of some of the stuff we'll be using. Many library services need to be set up their own username and password. See, I'm actually saying that twice because I want to make sure everybody gets that. Try to keep the same one to make it easier. So if you set up a username and password, let's say for Acorn TV or something, and then you keep it different than the library, it could get very confusing. Probably best to keep it the same. Okay, recommendation. See, our sites is like a gateway through gchrl.org to get to some of these resources. Now, one thing that can happen is we actually have a limited checkout of virtual stuff. Okay, and I know that may seem kind of funny, but that's just the way that the book companies and stuff set it up. So there's only so many copies, virtual copies of something. So if you're trying to download a e-audiobook or trying to get a subscription to Acorn TV or something, and it basically said that it's not available, just try again later. Okay, Try again this afternoon, try again tomorrow, try again at the end of the week, try again later. It'll become available. And if it's an ebook or an audiobook, you can actually put it on a waiting list and it'll notify you when that book actually becomes available. So don't give up. We'll talk a little bit about RB Digital. Of course, like I said, I've got a website that we are going to go to and show us a little bit new about the new Libby service that we have coming up on October 2nd. And like I said, we may do a class about that just of itself, so it's easy to learn a little bit more about. With RB Digital, it's kind of not just our gateway to get to our different books, but our ebooks, e-audiobooks, comics, magazines, and then there's the artist's works. Okay, so I'm actually going to pull up. I'll pull that up real quick. Now, if you're on our main page and you're trying to get this, now this is separate from using the app. Menu, resources, digital library, and we can do books. RB Digital Books, yes. So I'm going to sign in. We'll click that too. Learn a little bit more about Mr. Libby. Give me 1 second. I guess that would be Mrs. Libby. So anyway, we'll talk about the RB Digital and then we'll jump into Libby a little bit too. Okay. We'll learn about both. So here's our audiobooks here with the RB Digital. And I'm signed in. This is similar if it was the app on your phone as well. The audiobooks you basically just kind of click on and go in. Let's see. It's like we click on a book. Is it available? Oh, it says I can check it out. Now, if it wasn't available, I know it's going to keep popping up, I think. There it is. So if I click add to my wish list, that means it'll pop up and let me know about it. It said I can check it out for as long as 14 days. Okay. And click check out and it'll check it out and I can download it and listen to it my app. Now, the big thing about this, and of course Libby as well, is that they have apps available. So on smaller devices, so you can still listen to, an e-audiobook, let's say in your car or something, or if you do have like an Amazon Fire, those can actually work really well. If someone doesn't want to invest in a big iPad, Amazon Fire device is recommended. Usually during the holidays that are coming up. We do have a shopping class, virtual shopping class too, coming up. And one of the things about that is we talk about getting good deals, and usually during the holidays, those Amazon Fire little notebooks, actually tablets, get a little bit cheaper and everything. So it makes a great gift. We also have our magazines on here. Okay. We have our e-books as well. And we have our comics that are going on here as well. So if you have a family member that's a big fan of comics, there you go. And this is also how we can access our Acorn, our Indie Flicks, which we'll talk about more in a minute, and our Quello concerts as well. But I want to go ahead and let's look at this is our Libby that's coming out. I haven't personally tried it. Like I said, plan is we'll actually incorporate this into a future library resources class and then talk about Libby and know everything about it by then. So let's talk about why the changes are happening. Let's see. And all I did was I went to RB Digital and then I click where it says learn more. And I have another website I'm about to show. Let's see. When is this change happening? This change will be happening within the next few weeks. We're sharing an update in RB Digital once you need to switch to Libby for ebooks and audiobooks. Okay, so it looks like keep on using RB Digital until it is available and needs to be updated. And it sounds like RB Digital app will let us know. What is Libby? Libby is a free award-winning app where you can borrow and enjoy digital content from your public library. Learn more about Libby right there. Can I start Libby now? Maybe your library may already use Libby, in which case you may start borrowing the titles, Libby app, libbyapp.com today. Let's see, if it already uses Libby, let's see, if you're able to find them, prompt them, Libby setup process. Note that more titles will become available in the library in Libby the next few weeks. Okay, as they are moved over from RB Digital. Okay, if you can't find your library in Libby yet, stay tuned. Your library will start offering digital titles in Libby in the next few weeks. We'll share an update in RB Digital when you can make the switch to Libby. Okay, so that feels very easy. Can I keep borrowing and reading ebooks and audiobooks in RB Digital? Yes, you can keep borrowing and read audiobooks in RB Digital. For now, we'll share an update in RB Digital when you should switch. After your library's ebooks and or audiobooks move to Libby, any current ebook and audiobook checkouts will be available in RB Digital through the remainder of their lengthy period. Okay, so if I checked out a book right now, like the e-audiobook we looked at, said 14 days. Apparently, I could still have it checked out, of course, on October 1st because today is the 23rd, and then it'll actually correspond and move it on over so I can still use it till my time is up. This way you can finish reading without disruption or risk of losing your place in the book. There you go. What will happen to my holds on RB Digital? Holds will not be moved to Libby. You'll need to place any ebooks and the audiobook holds again in Libby. If you want to record, I guess that's like the wish list. If you want to record your RB Digital holds, you can export your transaction history from RB Digital website under My Account Profiles. Okay, so a little bit of tech stuff going on to get that taken care of. If you wanted to do that, it looks like you could do that and move it over to the new system, and then it would be, know what you want on your wish list or the things that you want to put on hold. There you go. What will happen to my wish list from RB Digital? Wish list will not be moved to Libby. However, you'll be able to move them. Recreate your wish list using tags in Libby. If you want to record your, like I just read that, and you can transfer your history over. What happened to my checkout list? I guess this is the ones that you checked out in the past. Let's see. How can I access other types of digital content like magazines from RB Digital? Only ebooks and audiobooks will be moved to Libby at this time. Please continue to use RB Digital for other types of digital content from our library. Well, boom, there you go right there. That answers the question of what about everything else? Well, apparently that will still be available in RB Digital, just not ebooks and audiobooks. That'll be in the new Libby system. Okay. What if I won't be able to use Libby? Oh no! Once your library's ebooks and audiobooks move to Libby, if you still aren't able to use Libby or the libbyapp.com, you can use the original Overdrive app on your library's Overdrive website instead. There are other alternatives, but it kind of sounded tech savvy there. So you may want to look into that, maybe not. Or maybe one issue is I don't think that there's an issue of having to get a new device, but if you did run into that issue, it may be best to get a newer device. We'll see. It depends on how far you want to go with the be able to do something that's a little bit more tech savvy. Now, I did have a video here. Okay, so I actually pulled up, if I add it in there, perfect. So I actually pulled up, and I will recreate that real quick. I actually pulled up the Libby.app. It popped up, and it's the first thing it says, talked about having a library card, and I say yes. And it said, okay, Libby's another device. You simply copy your card across, copy from other device, search for a library. And I believe right now, and I did the search a minute ago, and I did not see Columbia County, so we're not completely switched over yet. So I believe that's going to happen October 1st. Okay, so if you need to do that, you can access it like that. Now, this other part here, let's see. Here's one that looks like it's more like an introduction kind of video to our library stuff. So let's look and see and check out Libby. Borrow and read ebooks and audiobooks from your local library for free. Yay. So this kind of shows a little bit of an introduction to the Libby app. And what did we learn a minute ago? We learned a minute ago that this is only going to be for e-audiobooks and ebooks, yeah. E-audiobooks and audiobook. And one of the things I do is if you say audiobook, someone might think it's CD as well, but I'm talking about electronic audiobooks, electronic books, okay? So this kind of shows a little bit of an overview here. So Libby does the, let's see. Oh, nice. You can even see the book in 3D. Little video does not have sound. Okay, so let's scroll down here, and we're just going to follow along. Trusted by millions, library patrons across, of course, North America and around the world. Different companies as well. Popular Science. It's been listed or at least used by Popular Science, Life Hack. Let's see. Your Guide to Reading Happiness. Brought to you by your local library and built by Overdrive. Warm, personal, and easy to use. Libby is great to use for all ages. Here we go. That's what we talked about earlier, wasn't it? Read in the car. Enjoy audiobooks in your car through Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, or a Bluetooth connection. Send to Kindle. If you prefer reading on your Kindle, Libby can send your library books to it. Let's see. Read across devices. All your loans. Oh, loans. Yeah, all your loans, notes, bookmarks, and reading progress sync across your devices. Offline access. Download ebooks and audiobooks for offline reading or stream them to save space. Okay. It talks about magazines. PC Magazine is the best free software of 2019. Popular Mechanics, 20 best free apps for 2010s. Time Magazine. There we go. So we have a lot of backers here that say they've used it and really like it. Browse, search, and discover. There are thousands of ebooks and audiobooks hand-selected by your library available for reading. Explore the collection through catalog, guides, subject, features, titles, and curtailed list. It's a delight to discover new books through Libby. Here we go. Okay, so it's giving more of a suggestions, it looks like. That's great. What's popular? The RB Digital mostly just kind of lists new releases, and then you search for what you're looking for. State-of-the-art reading experience. Libby's ebook reader makes it easy to customize how to read. You can adjust an ebook's font size, book layout, and lighting. As you read, you can also add bookmarks, create notes, highlights, and define words as well. Oh, okay. Intuitive and beautiful audiobook player. All right. Libby makes it simple to listen when, where, and how you want. Swipe on the book cover to skip backwards or forwards to increase playback speed up to 3x. Set a sleep timer until the end of the chapter or for 5, 10, 30 minutes or more. That's great. One of the things some folks are doing is they'll actually speed up the audiobooks, maybe 1.3, 1.5 even. I don't know if I would go at 3. That seems like it would sound like the Micro Machines guy from the Micro Machines commercials from the 90s. Kind of like that. But maybe a little bit faster could be helpful. How does Libby work? Watch our Getting Started video to learn the basics, learn how to navigate, like how to navigate the app, borrow ebooks and audiobooks, and start reading. Okay, let's watch our little video here.
Meet Libby, the free one-tap reading app from your library. With Libby, you can borrow free ebooks and digital audiobooks from your library. All you need is a library card. When you open Libby for the first time, she'll help you find your library. Then, you can explore your library's collection and borrow titles or place holds instantly. On your shelf, you'll find all your loans and holds, as well as any titles you've tagged. Loans are automatically downloaded for offline use when you're on Wi-Fi. If you're using mobile data, you can stream titles until you're on Wi-Fi. Your loans are returned automatically on their due dates, so you never need to worry about late fees. Tap Manage Loan to see more options for each title, like returning early. Tap a title to open it and start reading. If you belong to a library in the United States, you'll see the option to send most ebooks to Kindle or to start reading in Libby. Use the bottom navigation to switch between your shelf, your library, and your current read. In the Libby menu, you can add a library, change your app settings, get help, and more. Download Libby to start borrowing today. Happy reading!
Happy reading. I like that. Okay, so let's keep going down here. Lots of positive feedback about the app. Let's say go to their Facebook page and stuff. There you go, Google Play and App Store. All right, I think that was very informative. So that turnover is supposed to happen on October 1st. Like we read a minute ago, if you go to RB, you're using the RB Digital, so we're continuing to talk about our RB Digital. It'll actually pop up and tell you when you do need to switch over, but that's only for the e-audiobooks and e-audiobooks and the e-books for now. And when it switches over later, it'll talk about it. So if we go back to, we were there. Like I said, October 1st. So let's go ahead and let's talk about our magazines. So the really neat part about magazines, and again, this will still be in the RB Digital app, as it said. Just the e-audiobooks and the e-books are switching over to Libby. This is also where you'll still gain access to turn on Acorn, IndieFlix, and the Quello concerts as well. So let's go ahead and let's talk about one of the best things about this, of course, is no late fees at all. Okay, so when these things expire, there's no late fees, they just expire. Okay, you just don't have access to it anymore. See if you want to recheck it out. If it's unavailable, then just kind of wait and it'll be available later. Okay, let's talk about some free TV that we can get through our library. So there's different services like Acorn TV. There's also IndieFlix, which I'll talk about here in a minute too, and also the Stingray, Quello, and it's a lot of live concerts. How do these subscriptions work? There's free 7-day subscriptions. Once the 7 days are up, what do? Well, you can just resubscribe again, and this is all completely free through the library. It's not a one-time use. The only thing we ask is that it does cost the library every time you subscribe to it. So if you subscribe to one of these, please use them. Okay, if you get a ebook, then read it. Okay. Can't be any better than that now, can we? All right, so let's talk about what things are available on our Acorn TV, and I got a little video I'll show. So some things that are very popular, and like I said, this kind of feeds into the cord cutting a little bit. Acorn TV, stuff like Midsummer Murders, kind of murder mystery. Agatha Christie's Poirot. Agatha Raisin, which is kind of takeoff of Agatha Christie. Different characters here. Murdoch Mysteries, which is a fun series. Doc Martin and a few others as well. And I've got a little, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me get that loaded up. All right, there we go. Talks about our, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I know not everybody may be viewing this on their computer, and it may need a little bit more space. So it talks about all the kind of fun shows that they have, and I have a little bit of trailer I'll show too. So I'll disappear while we start our trailer for Acorn TV.
Rule number 1, get them laughing.
That's basically the holy grail of treasure hunting.
Well, no, the Holy Grail is the Holy Grail of treasure hunting.
Well, if you're going to be pedantic.
Do you bathe at all?
Yes, I do.
Well, it's obviously time to step it up.
I seem to spend my life searching for patterns. What if there isn't one?
She's done nothing wrong.
Why don't you just leave? I have come halfway around the world for you. I'm not giving up that easily. Are you interrogating me?
Well, of course not. Simply asking the questions that need to be answered in order to find out who killed him and why.
I figured you out.
Well, you've succeeded where so many ex-wives didn't.
Your name is all over this, Jack. No question, you were next.
This is not a game, mon ami. Tell me the truth now. It is your only chance.
All right, so just kind of a fun trailer to kind of a brief overview of some of the shows that they have on there. And like I said, you can access that through the RB Digital and sign up for the British TV. One of the things that you may need to do is you click it and it'll pop up and say, hey, is this show you want to see? Say yes, and then you sign in with your username and password. After you've done the subscription through the RB Digital. Let's talk about another service that we have that's available. It's called Indie Flix. It's actually a lot of international films on here, but then it also includes things as you see down here, like The Magnificent Seven, The Heat of the Night, The Hustler, Third Man, and then they have classic TV shows on there as well. So you might say, well, it's mostly for folks that like international movies, but then if you see some of the other things that they offer, it could be kind of for anyone, you know, that's interested in, you know, they even have cartoons on there too. And again, how does our free 7-day service work? Basically, log into RB Digital, go to the menu, select entertainment, select what you want. The show or movie, Acorn TV kind of shows you what content's there before you even log in or resubscribe to the service, which is kind of interesting. And then basically you set it up, You download the app to either like a Roku device, an Amazon Fire Stick, or even have the app on your phone or your device that way, and then to basically just log in with your username and password, and then you'll have access for 7 days. Okay. So let's talk about some of our continuing education stuff. One great service that we have, and I'll get that pulled up. Anyway, it's our continuing education. If you go to our library page, click education, continuing education, and then you can choose a universal class. Oh, I have to do the logins. Give me 1 second. It's loading. It's thinking about it. It's still thinking about it. Let's see. Okay. Well, hold on. Actually getting an error message for some reason. Hold on. Their website must be currently down for some reason. Okay, I'll just kind of talk about some of the stuff. They must be having some issues with their website. It does happen. So the continuing education at Universal Class, they have hundreds of online continuing education classes. Okay, you can even earn continuing education credits, and it's a great program because they also do certificates for the program once completed as well. So this is a great thing to put on a resume. And I just kind of have a list of 4 things here to kind of cover, you know, the kind of the broad spectrum of the kind of classes they do have on there. They have some coding classes. So let's say that you want to get more into coding websites, HTML, CSS or something like that. And some of the classes can be very long, but they do a certificate. So once you do finish the class, you get a certificate with it, and it is something that you can print out. And they do actually have its own serial number, and they actually have a link so you can put that on your resume. The recruiter, or a business can click there, and it'll take you to the continuing education credit. It'll take you to Universal Class and show you that you did complete the course. Okay. So that's really a big one. Here's kind of a fun one here, the general receptionist. One of the things is, so kind of imagine you had 2 candidates going for the same job. Maybe it was the same background and everything, and one of them had completed the general receptionist job. Then that person should have a little bit of a leg up over the other one because they have had some kind of online training. Okay. Here's some more basics. One of the classes that people say they really want to look more about is kind of Excel. Okay, so here's Excel 2019, which is our newest version of Excel. Make sure any kind of training that you do, you are using the newest version. If it's software based, make sure you're using the newest one. It's a 12-hour class. Wow. So after that, you have learned a lot. And this is kind of a fun one. They have things like canning, making soaps, candles, But I also thought this was kind of a good thing to talk about. You know, at any time, even during while we're kind of staying home, staying safe, it might be a good idea to start your own home-based business or something. Of course, you could sell stuff like this on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something, or you could still sell it at one of the outdoor markets or something. So even though, you know, staying home, staying safe and everything, you could even start your own business. Ooh, how's that sound? So there's soap making, which sounds pretty fun. So let's talk about other continuing education programs. There's Mango, learn a new language. Okay, this could even be great for someone trying to, of course, learn English as a second language. Using this program, it does have an app that you can use as well and download, and it does have voice recordings, as you can see down here. So it's not just reading, of course. I'm not sure if they have any videos in there, but I do know that they have audio to be able to do it like that, and it's free through the library. We also have a newer feature called Brain Fuse. Get help now. This is really great because they have live tutoring, live online tutoring for school projects, for kind of anything, I guess you could say. There's a writing lab on here, a skill surfer, and of course you can send in questions to experts and they'll try to answer your questions as well. But you can't get better than live tutoring. On their website it talks about when the tutoring is, okay? Study help, make your own flashcards, getting ready for a test. It's a good way to try to memorize key topics. They also have an online way that you can meet as well. I guess that's kind of like their version of Zoom or Skype or something. Let's talk about some of our other resources here. So we actually have available Augusta Chronicle collection. Currently, the Augusta Chronicle only goes back with text only to 1994, okay, and with the images of the actual paper 2017, as of kind of like the last time I went there. We do have a big question of in the magazines, is Consumer Reports in the RB Digital magazines? No, it is not, but there is a way that you can use the digital library. Just go to the gchrl.org. Hit the menu, go to digital library and news and periodicals, and it's under Consumer Reports. Okay. There's also, if you're want to look up something a little bit more than just some basic Google searching on a company before you invest. They actually have a something called Merchant Intelligent, and it does research. As you see there, it's over 70 million private companies. And also there, if you're doing any kind of ancestry, we actually have connection up with Ancestry.com. You can use it at the library. It's a general search that you do with that. But also Heritage Quest is one that you can sign up for and use at home as well. Okay. Gale is a great resource. You get to them through the website. Click in the menu, digital resources. Digital libraries, I believe it's called. Anyway, they have reference books on there for travel. Okay. Different books. Still planning, maybe not right now, but of course maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, plan a really big trip. Okay. Also, it has our information on there, current events or anything like that. And a lot of these resources, there are brochures that you can usually find at the library, handouts. Of course, any of the librarians are happy to help you with any questions that you have. Okay. All right, so let's delve into kind of some more of our tech stuff that we're going to be doing today. And I still had an issue with getting the Universal class to load. Aha! Hang on. I think it just worked. Aha! Okay, so I'll show that real quick because I did actually just get that to load. Let me log into that real quick. Aha! So this is a universal class. Like I said, I was having issues with it loading a second ago, but I kind of showed around a little bit. So again, this is going from the library website. You go menu. I go menu. Go to where it says Education and Research, and it's under Continuing Education, Universal Class. There's the Mango language one as well. There's music. English is a second language, and even some help about driving tests in Georgia. But there's the universal class right there, and I got it to load. Yay, I got it to load. Okay, so let's talk about some of the stuff on here, and I'll kind of briefly show this a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we can actually, I'm not signing anything that's my class right now, so let's look at their courses. And it pops up, and these are the different kind of classes or curriculum, I guess you could say. I've got crafts and hobbies, alternative medicine in here, career training, accounting. Of course, we have computer training, so let's look at that because that's a big one, of course. There's Excel, even someone that wants to know advanced Excel. If you want to know advanced Excel, you're probably an accountant already. Cybersecurity. After Effects is on here. WordPress. Let's see, digital photography even. Google Sheets, Google Slides. Let's see, Word. Typing, keyboarding, let's see, and Windows 10, and of course Windows 8 as well. It's a 5-hour course. Now if you go back, we actually go down to, here's homeschooling resources. So if you're trying to supplement something, be some good resources here. See, learning language, do it yourself, professional organizer training, wellness coach, waiter and waitress training. There you go, right there. How to improve your concentration. It only takes 3 hours. Speed reading, critical thinking, event planning. Let's see. Special education, real estate. Real estate, interesting. Landlord management, wow. Business writing, estate planning. Introduction to gardening. Landscaping 101. Let's see if that has a video. That could be interesting. Okay, here we go. We'll watch our little introduction video. Usually what I do is I pull up one of the classes, and then I'll show like the little introduction video. So this could be interesting.
landscape of a house should and will increase the value of a home when it is done properly. The landscape of a home is as important in expressing the personality of its owners as the home itself. More importantly, a good landscape will provide recreation, privacy, and pleasure to the owners. Whether you are redoing, adding, or creating landscaping for your home, you are in for an adventure in creativity. Even if you are only going to touch up a landscape, it is important to always consider the big picture of your yard. Each part should fit into the entire landscape. No matter what the scope of your landscaping project is, the best place to start any landscaping endeavor is at the beginning. The beginning is assessing what you have to work with. Don't just decide to landscape and walk out the door to get your shovel. Take some time with the idea. Contemplate what is possible, plausible, and even improbable, and let those thoughts roll around for a while. Soon you'll be conjuring up all sorts of ideas. Sketch them out. By taking the proper time at this stage, you'll save a lot of work and headaches as you approach planning your landscape design. Landscape professionals will tell you that a good plan is the key to any successful landscape project. A good plan is more than a drawing or a design. It's a well-thought-out plan of action that includes a design. It enables you to feel confident that you're on target for your property. One major advantage of planning is that you can properly segment the work involved and the cost of your landscaping. It is not uncommon for a landscape plan to cover 3 years and as many as 5 years. Before you start drawing or planting shrubbery, spend some time figuring out what you want to accomplish with your landscape. Don't be too quick to put your plan on paper. Much of the planning and designing will occur in your head as you consider ideas and think about what appeals to you most. Brainstorm and take notes on paper. As you proceed with each step in planning and design, be sure to adapt the plan to your particular conditions and desires instead of trying to follow lots of rigid rules. At any step in your decision-making, don't hesitate to get expert advice from landscaping professionals and other sources. After all, landscaping is a practical yet personal process, and you want the outcome to be to your liking. What could be more rewarding than designing your home's landscape, transforming your plans into reality, and enjoying the results for years to come? As you work through ideas, sketch them on paper. This is the time to consider garden views from inside the house, traffic patterns throughout the yard, and ways your family uses the yard. Draw permanent structures such as paths, walls, fences, decks, and gazebos, even if you don't intend to erect them immediately. Reserve space near hedges, walls, and fences for plants that benefit from the extra protection and shade. Keep plants an ample distance from one another and from nearby structures to allow for growth. Give wide berth to new shrubs and trees. When fully grown, they can take up a lot of space. Remember to leave open play areas if you have children. Add exercise areas for your pets, if you have them, where they won't trample plants. Leave room to work in the yard. If you plan large beds, add space for stepping stones or a winding path that will allow access to plants in the middle of the bed. Any landscape work requires the proper tools. If you are doing landscaping for the first time, knowing the basic tools you'll need is important. Here is a list of the basic tools. Trowel, spade for digging and transplanting, shovel for moving earth and mulch, flipping compost, etc., hoe, pruning shears, sharp knife, narrow digging tool, 5-gallon bucket, cart or wheelbarrow, hose, watering can, hat for sun protection, gloves. The importance of dirt. Don't forget the part of your landscape beneath the surface. Soil improvement is the very most important step for creating a successful landscape. Prepare your planting beds well, and your garden will thrive. Loose, crumbly earth that lets in air and moisture and that doesn't become waterlogged encourages plant roots to develop. Be sure your garden has the proper pH, acid-alkaline balance, and fertility. Most county cooperative extension services provide soil testing, or you can buy a soil testing kit at a local garden center for about $12. It will tell you if your soil is too acidic, sour, and needs lime, or if it's too alkaline, sweet, and needs sulfur or gypsum. Soil tends to be acidic in many regions and alkaline in desert regions. Mid-continent gardens generally lean toward neutral soil. Even when the soil is very fertile, soil that is too acidic or too alkaline will kill plants from malnutrition because some nutrients don't dissolve as well under acidic or alkaline conditions. The presence of organic matter, such as compost, makes the soils at either end of the spectrum more neutral. The chemistry and makeup of your soil can be fixed through composting and adding fertilizers and manures that you mix into the soil.
There we go. We learned a little bit more about soil now, didn't we? Let's scroll down here. Let's look at our course here. Remember, this is Landscaping 101. It talks about everything that you'll learn in the class. pH balance, color, natural transitions, how to gather ideas or whether to use professional help or not. Learn how to plan your landscaping, schedule work, avoid landscaping mistakes. Now, a lot of this you can actually pull up and go further if you wanted to, meaning if you wanted to just jump into the class, get some information about one or two of the lessons that they have listed on here, and then actually get out, not fully complete the class, but it's probably recommended to complete that because then you get the certificate. 3-year plan, mistakes in planning, estimating costs. There you go. Outdoor rooms. Design outdoor living space, soil, and other preparation. So the big thing here is not only do we actually learn each of these topics that they cover, but then if we scroll down here, it talks about how we get our certificate. And also, where's our big one here? There it is. Verify your certificate or unique serial number. Okay. So you can actually promote it with your resume. Okay. And you can post it on social media, it even says. Of course, now's a great time to learn something new now, isn't it? Okay, so that's kind of an introduction to one of our classes here. Video, audio available. Okay. So like I said, they have many on here. That's just one of them. The hobby one is one that I think is pretty popular. I get asked about those topics. Cake decorating, candle making. And some of these, you could start your own business. The landscaping thing, you know, you may be able to start your own business with that, if that's your thing. Cake decorating. There you go, bread baking right there. I don't think that has a video though. I think I've clicked on that before and it doesn't. But it talks about the bread baking. Let's see, there's couponing. Let's see, creative writing. Fashion, face painting. Home-baked cookies, how to can, freeze, and preserve, how to write short stories, introduction to music appreciation. You kind of get the idea. There's a lot of different things that you can choose. Pie baking, pet sitting, walking, and of course there's soap making right there. Social event planning, tea parties 101. Wedding planning. There you go. So it covers a lot. And of course that's all free through the library. It's a great resource. Okay, now since we kind of covered that part, and I'll kind of pause for a second, see if anybody has any other questions about what I've covered. I'll kind of get into a little bit of our tech news. Okay, so let's go ahead. I know that the iPhone has actually come out with a new update. Let's talk about that a little bit. And they're going to be adding widgets, okay? Let's see if this has, let's open for something a little more visual to show. Let's see. Go back up to the top. So this isn't visual apparently. It's more of a, okay, so we're in the, oh, wow, okay. There we go. That's something I was looking for. So we have something a little bit more visual here. Let's see. So we can actually add more stuff to it. Let's see. Looks brand new, feels like home. And this is for Apple iPhone devices. Brings fresh look to things to do more often, make them easier than ever. New features help you get what you need in the moment. And the apps you use all the time become even more intelligent, more personal, more private. We won't watch the video. Mostly we just want to know about what things it can offer. You're able to do more with the iPhone than ever before. Reimagines most of the icon parts and experiences to be even more helpful and personal. Now, one of the reasons we're covering this is because if you do have a iPhone 7 or later, I don't believe this is available on 6. iPhone 7 or later, this will actually automatically be pushed to your device. So now we have more widgets on the home screen, kind of taken from an Android device. Widgets have been totally redesigned to give you more information at a glance, and now you can add them to your home screen. Your to-do list, your calendar. Choose different sizes and arrange them how you like. Have news stories at the top. Also include the weather. Kind of like some Android phones have been doing for a long time. I guess they've decided they'll be able to add them as well. You can also add a smart stack of widgets intelligently curated based on the apps you use most, and the right widget will show up automatically right time of day. So I guess that would be talking about here. Let's see. Apple Library, the new Apple Library automatically organizes all your apps into one simple, easy to use view. Puts them in different categories. Apps are sorted by category, and you most used apps are always just one tap away. Compact calls from your iPhone, FaceTime, and third-party apps display in an all-new compact design that doesn't take up the full screen. I would be concerned that I may not realize I had a, if I click the little thing here, it does that. Interesting. Picture in picture. This is one of the ones I've been hearing about. Now you can keep watching videos or continue your FaceTime call while you're using other apps. Now I have heard that YouTube actually has this turned off unless you had the premium version of YouTube. Messages, keep in touch as never before, has been more essential. So iOS 14 gives you new ways to stay connected to the conversation that matter most. Keep track of group conversation and express yourself however you like. Okay. It's kind of interesting. So you can see it all in one. I guess they're kind of going more to like a bubble or a circle instead of it being just a list, like a list kind of down here. Interesting. Pin up to 9 of your most important conversations to the top of your conversation list so you can easily get to them. Group photos. Give your group conversations a visual identity by adding a photo or emoji, or choose an emoji. Let's see. Mentions. Type a name to direct a message to someone. When you are mentioned, your name is highlighted. You can even customize an active group so you only receive notifications when you are mentioned. Interesting. Candace, can you lead the presentation? Can't wait to show our work. Dave, I can. Let's see. Now you can inline replies. Now you can reply directly to a specific message in a group conversation. You can view replies in the full conversation as their own thread for more of a view. That's very helpful. So if you have somebody say something and it looks like you're trying to reply to them instead of the previous message. New emojis. Along with new age options and face coverings, choose from over 20 different new headwear styles to reflect your hobby, profession, and personality. That's kind of funny. They're updating the Apple Maps. Maps is a better way to navigate and explore the world, all while protecting your privacy. With Maps in iOS 14, it's easier than ever to discover new places to go and environmentally friendly ways to get there. Cycling directions, planning your trip with charging stations along the way. That must be a very long trip. Guides, Apple Maps editors have worked with trusted brands and partners to offer guides to great places around the world to eat, shop, and explore. You can save guides and they automatically update when new places are available so you can have the latest recommendations. Okay. I imagine that's still kind of for bigger cities. Translate. Conversations across languages should feel natural, easy, and have the ability to remain private, including the all-new Translate app designed for conversations across 11 different languages. So, interesting. I guess this is their version of the Google Translate. Conversation mode with Translate. Conversations are easy to by design. Just turn your phone to landscape and type the single microphone button to say something. One device mode, enable a fully offline experience for Translate. Use all the app features for download the language and keep your translations private without needing to turn off your phone's internet connection. Interesting. Favorite translations. Tension mode. Large translated text to landscape. And here's Siri. Siri is a vital way to get information and get things done. And thanks to a new compact design, you can take advantage of everything Siri can do without losing your context. Compact design. Okay. So it pops up here now. Completely new look and lets you quickly get information or get things done while still focusing on what you're doing. So I guess one of the big things we're learning here is that they're trying to be less intrusive on the screen and more like an icon pops up with what you're doing. Siri has over 20x more facts than just 3 years ago. Okay. I guess if I want facts, I'll just ask her because now she has 20 times more. Web Answers Siri can now help you find answers to a broader set of questions by using information across the web. Send an audio message when you want to be more expressive than your messages. You can now easily send audio messages with Siri. Okay. Home app helps you maintain your smart home intelligence. So this is about turning lights on and off. If you use that, or if you're using the Amazon, I guess this would connect up with the Amazon stuff. Let's see. Adaptive lights, change color temperature throughout the day. Face recognition, video cameras, doorbells. Okay, so it's trying to connect up to all that stuff. And here's the browser, Safari. Browsing the web shouldn't feel fast, powerful. Now, I would like to have it so it has an ad blocker on it. World's fastest mobile browser. We'll take your word for it. Let's see. Warning if a password is not secure. Privacy report. But no ad blocking. Okay. Preventing tracking. Okay, that's good. Car keys and CarPlay. CarPlay has transformed the relationship between your iPhone and now your car. Now that relationship gets even more powerful with the ability to unlock and start your car with your phone. I guess you have to have a special car to do that. Share management keys. Works up to 5 hour. Oh, your key. Okay, that's interesting. Guess that's the answer to the question. If I did do something like this, share keys with friends or family, easy to customize, control, create restricted profiles. Guess that's connected up with the car, but the car has to be able to have that inactive. Okay. CarPlay, wallpaper, and new app types. Choose from set of wallpapers that look great. CarPlay also supports new app types, parking, electronic vehicle, so forth. Okay, good. Connect up to the headphones. Better notification, lets you know when you need to charge your AirPods. Automatic switching, seamlessly move between devices without manually switching your AirPods. Auto sharing on Apple TV if you have an Apple TV. Audio clips from Apple Store have changed the way we do just about everything. Oh, excuse me. Apps from the App Store. I don't know why I said that. Now that's even faster way to take advantage of the app clips. A small part of an app clip is discoverable the moment you need it. I don't understand what that means. All right, so let's watch a little film.
Today, no matter what you want to do, there's an app for that. But what if you don't have the app you need right when you need it? Like when you need to pay for parking. Well, now there's an app clip for that. Ooh, look, a new coffee shop. There's an app clip for that. Or your friend sends you a message with a print you like. There's an app clip for that. That looks nice. Looking for somewhere to eat nearby? App clip. Very health conscious of you. Hey, there's a scooter. Let's take it for a spin. Yup, app clip. Ice cream. Wait, there isn't one for that yet? Well, soon there could be an app clip for that. And that. And that. And that. And that.
Okay, I'm going to speculate what that is. That must be basically you can use the app with limited while it's live or something, so you don't have to actually download and install the app. That must be what that is. Interesting. App clips easy to discover and use right in the moment you need them, like renting bike, paying for parking, ordering food, and so much more. And it may be one of those things where it's very specific to the service. Let's see, log in quickly to apps that use sign in with Apple. Specific to make transactions safely instantly with apps that use Apple Pay. Okay, so basically having the Apple Wallet set up, having the Apple Pay set up, and then of course having the device have that as well, the Apple Sign In. Small size loads a second, quick launch. Actually, that's a good idea. It's not downloading the complete app, it's just probably loading it live so you don't have to install it. And now it talks about more privacy stuff. Let me see. An indicator appears at the top of the screen whenever your app is using a microphone or camera. And in control, you can see if the app has used them recently. Okay. I always love the idea where some indicator would come on that if you're using the camera or whatever, but if someone was doing some kind of hacking, they would make sure to turn that off. But anyway, it's a good thing. Share only your approximate location rather than your exact location. Perfect for apps like local news or weather. Okay. Upgrade to sign in with Apple. Easily switch to sign in with Apple when logging into particular apps. You'll keep your account you already use, but have one less password to keep track of. That kind of sounds like Apple's version of sign in with Facebook, doesn't it? And a whole lot more stuff. Okay. So this is being pushed to all our devices that, iPhone 7 and newer. So something new to kind of play around with. I think they're recommending some stuff here. Camera take photos even quicker with the faster time to first shoot and faster shot-to-shot performance. And with a new exposure compensation control, you can lock an exposure variable while separately locking camera focus for a specific shot. Interesting, because I actually have the Camera Plus app, and that does allow me to do that. Here's some augmented reality stuff. Location Anchor, allowing developers to place AR experiences like life-size art installments. Let's see, a specific point in the world. That's neat. Game Center, keeping track. Health. Photos, organize your photos and videos with new options to filter and sort, and easily navigate through pitch and zoom and more views throughout the photo. Notes. One device intelligence helps you do everything you find your notes faster to capture sharper document scans and design updates across the app. Help focus your attention on your content, on the most important actions you can take. Okay. Set default email and browser apps. With iOS 14, you can set a third-party app as a default email or browser app system. I had actually heard that you could do that with, let's say, Google. So instead of having to have set up everything with their email to get it to work, you can just download the Google email app and it'll automatically switch over. Reminders, quickly entry and smart suggestions can help you capture new reminders effortlessly, if I can talk. Members of shared lists can now assign reminders to each other, so splitting up tasks easier than ever. It's interesting. Voice, most popular audio recording app in the world, just got a new tool, organized recordings. An all new enhanced recording feature lets you improve the sound quality of your recording with a single tap. Okay, that's great. The built-in weather app, stay informed about severe weather elements, learn about upcoming shifts in weather so you know to be significantly warmer, colder, or wetter the next day. In the US, you can see a chart that shows a minute-by-minute forecast of participating intensity over the next hour. Okay. Okay, it does support iPhone 6 as well and the SE, so that's good. The only thing is, any kind of upgrade they do, I just hope that it doesn't slow down the device, that's all, but we'll all be kind of pushed to do the upgrade anyway, because that's how Apple works with their updates. Now it should automatically push, but if you are interested in doing that, one of the things is basically you just go to settings, general, click software update, and click download and install. The big thing is you need to make sure that you have enough space on your computer for that. Okay, so we've kind of come to the end of our class. We covered a lot today, didn't we? We covered a lot. We covered about free resources from our library. We learned about the new Libby, didn't we? That's going to come on October 1st. Okay. So right now, if you're still using the RB Digital, that's perfectly fine. Just stay with that. And remember, it'll actually pop up. So, and even if past October 1st, let's say a few weeks after that, and you're like, oh, I want to listen to an audiobook, and you log into RB Digital, it'll pop up with instructions on how to switch over to the new Libby and how to get that done. And remember, it basically stated that that's just for audiobooks and e-books as well. So it'll switch over when you need it, but the Acorn TV and the comics and the magazines will be available on RB Digital as well. Okay. So unless there's any other final questions or anything, and if you're watching this on a replay, I hope you learned a lot and got to fast forward and rewind a little bit and learn some new information and stuff. So let's go ahead and let's talk about some of our other classes we have coming up, and I'll go ahead and post, see if anybody has any final questions. So, of course, Tuesday we did photography. This afternoon we're going to be doing photography fundamentals at 2:30. So come join me for that. We'll be talking about backing up our photos to Google Cloud. We'll also be talking about organizing our photos using the the Microsoft Photos app that comes free with Windows. And here's some of our list of our upcoming classes that we have coming up for the end of the month. Okay, so Thursday we're going to be doing our Chess 101 class. It's a fun class, and then on the afternoon we'll be doing the advanced photo editing class, including layers. Okay, and then next week we'll be talking about photography, printing, and virtual scrapbooking on the 29th. And on the 30th, we're going to be doing cutting the cable basics of cord cutting here on the Harlem, beginning at 11 o'clock. And then at 2:30, we're going to be doing the creating video and editing basics. And that'll actually finish up for the month. Like I said, tomorrow we'll have posted the classes that we're going to have starting that Thursday as well, which is actually our first day of October. Can you believe it's October already? Little side note, yes, our libraries are open with limited services and hours. You can go to also curbside holds pickup is available. You can go to gchrl.org for more information and details, or you can call into the library Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for updates as well. And please hit subscribe and like our videos and like this video too. Remember, our goal is to try to get 100 subscribers to our YouTube channel so we can get an official YouTube address. Right now, if you're looking for our channel, the easiest way to find it is to go to YouTube and just search for GCHRL videos, and it'll pop right up. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. You're watching this on a replay. If you come to one of the live classes, then you can ask questions and everything, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And I look forward to seeing you guys virtually and on ground eventually in the future, probably next year at some point. And thank you for coming and attending. Have a safe day. It's a little chilly, but it's also sunny outside, so go outside, get a little exercise. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in another class, maybe this afternoon. Bye-bye.